that's who we're going to kick off with, because Saudi Arabia, they're chasing France for that second place of qualification. France currently sat on 20 points, Saudi Arabia sat on 14. They need at least 2 wins, Mark, to go through on goal difference.
And what a player to start things off for them. The world champion, MSDOSSARY, taking the reins for Saudi Arabia here. 6 points is the magic number that Saudi Arabia need, as you say, to chase down France, who are currently holding down that second qualification spot. But Finland, they put in some solid performances yesterday, Dan. And they could certainly cause some upsets, but Dossari's looking to start for Saudi Arabia. And that's exactly what he's done. The world champion loves these kind of situations. And with that strike from Eusebio, he's going to put Saudi Arabia in the lead.
Dossary, who got off to a cold start yesterday in the group stage, is unable to win his first game on the PlayStation. At least now he shows what he's made of. And he is going to take down Makes here. And that will be a
Saudi Arabia still holding down the lead here with MSDOSSARY taking on Makes. And all of these goals, as you say, Dan, they have such implications on not only who's going to go through, but Global Series rankings, also seeding in that knockout bracket.
I mean, there's still a chance that Saudi Arabia could win this group. It's very unlikely, as England would only need at least 4 points to guarantee themselves first place. However, if they were to fail to win against South Africa at all, then maybe Saudi Arabia could pip that. So that's something that Dossary and the Royal, I'm sure, will have in the back. The main focus will be just getting those 6 points and securing qualification into knockouts.
And of course, it's not just the Finland fans who are going to be watching. It's going to be the France fans who are going to be wanting Finland to pick up the points here. But we see a goal going in here, an equaliser here for Brazil, one of the teams who are already qualified into the knockouts. And Tor, he was such a standout performer, excuse me, yesterday for Brazil, and he's carried on in the same vein of form.
And he made it very, very clear that Brazil have won 5 World Cups, and he wants to win the eNations for Brazil as well. 4 points behind Argentina in the group currently, and they're looking to try and top that group. They definitely have the potential to do so.
There was a little mistake there from Dossary in that previous phase of play, just gave the ball away, but Finland not being able to make the most of it, looking for the Elastico to beat that man, but Dossary defended it well. And I'm sure you're going to see a very professional game here from MSDOSSARY, knowing that it's only one leg here, Dan. We must reiterate that to everyone watching at the moment.
And I mean, you don't want to rely on the 2v2 to try and get points, so he needs to pick up the 3 points here to then say, all right, Royal, look, you can get the job done in your leg, and then we can have our 6 points. We will have gained our qualification. We have a better goal difference than France, unless the 2v2 went drastically wrong. And then maybe there's a chance they don't go through on goal difference, but they just need to focus up, get those 6 points first and foremost, and then look at goal difference afterwards.
Dax and Maestro France, like I said previously, we're watching this with bated breath at the moment. Finland fans for just a few moments, I'm sure, wanting them to take some points off of Saudi Arabia here, really put the pressure onto them. Let's put it this way, if Dossary loses this game, the Royal needs to win his game, and they need to win that 2v2, and the pressure just gets ramped up even more on the 2 Saudi Arabian players.
And we saw in their first round yesterday, when the pressure was on them, they didn't play at their best. It's when they were more relaxed, Saudi Arabia, we started to see them performing well. So let's see whether they can find that form that they did find in the latter stages. Well, England and South Africa. England searching for 1 point to guarantee themselves through, and Tom Lees opened the scoring for England. Germany also picked up a 2nd goal versus Sweden. They didn't find their form yesterday, Mark, but it looks like today they're firing at home.
Yeah, some smiles across German faces there. You saw a little smile from Megabit as Aubameyang doubles the lead for Germany there. But it's MSDOSSARY who's looking to double the lead of Saudi Arabia. Ooh, drag back completely sold. Makes in the middle of the box there, but the shot really wasn't up to standard. The little deflection just took the pace and the sting out of it. A fairly comfortable save there for the goalkeeper, but Finland have looked dangerous here. And speaking of dangerous, they're trying to get round Van Dijk, but it's a long way round. The Liverpool centre-back, who's been a standout performer in real life for Liverpool, for Saudi Arabia there. That team of the year for I am standing up, and now we're going straight up the other end as Dossary goes on the counter-attack and forces a corner.
Bit of a waste in the end for Finland, to be honest. It was a fantastic chance. The keeper should gather that one up, but almost punished by MSDOSSARY. And Germany, well, things getting better for them, even though their tournament lives are already over. They're already eliminated yesterday, it seems like they're showing up just to go out with a bang here today. I saw an interview with them earlier, and they said, well, what have you learned from this tournament? And Albert said, to be honest, we haven't learned anything. We're very disappointed with how we played. You know what? Their two players will be very much prominent throughout the rest of the season.
Well, there might be a chance here for Dossari to double the lead. But the woodwork denies Saudi Arabia. Big chance there for Dossari. Snatched it out a little bit on the left foot.
And he needs a second goal. He knows Dossari's been in enough games of FIFA this season to know that 1-0 is not a good enough lead.
And again, Mbappe's got space in behind here for Finland. There's the ball in the air there with the El Tornado. Doesn't go for the cross, instead decides to recycle the play here. Patient stuff here from Finland. Makes his coming forward, waiting for the runs. Neymar, the Elastico buys him space to Cricketta. But what a last-ditch tackle that was.
Yeah, a dangerous one, but still possession in the hands of Finland, or at the feet of Finland, should I say. But decent tackles from MS Dossari in Saudi Arabia. Yes, some of them are last-ditch, but at least he's getting the job done. Norway, Brazil. Brazil still fighting for that first spot in Group C, and it is torn once again.
كده البرازيل اتأهلت أصلا يعني مش محتاجة الماتش ده في حاجة.
Yeah, what a shot that was. Free kick just played off to the side to R9 Ronaldo, and the Brazilian puts Brazil into the lead. At 2-1 now. Van Dijk has to do some defending from a free kick in this game, and at half-time, Dossari is getting the job done here for Saudi Arabia. 3 points is what he wants from this. Just wants to take the pressure off of his teammate heading into that second game.
And take the pressure off I think taking the pressure off the 2v2 is the most important factor. 2v2 is where most of the teams have felt uncomfortable because it's not their natural habitat. They're not used to playing 2v2 games. It's a new format this year that we haven't seen before, where players maybe haven't had as much practice as they would have liked. And I think the more that we use this format and the more that this tournament happens in future years, we'll see more practice develop. We'll see different metas develop as well, and it is going to be very exciting to see how that comes about. You're quite right. He wants this victory, but he also needs this victory, these 3 points.
Well, straight back underway then, no messing about here. Finland defend the restart pretty well there. Eusebio's trying to burst away as well. Finland have looked dangerous. They've got into dangerous positions, and Makes has just not made the most of those opportunities. The sun Ronaldo's in now, stops up there. He had the opportunity to strike a goal. Maybe looking for the extra pass, the little cutback. Sorry, you have to say.
ومساعد بداها حلو بس مش عارف ماله بيعمل كده ليه.
But he hasn't looked in control of this game.
He hasn't been able to press on and really look for that second. But the good news for him is, even though Finland have looked dangerous in the final third, they haven't got shots away. As I say, that finally makes Let's one rip. Unfortunately for him, though, easily saved by David De Gea. He needs to be shooting from better angles.
Ismi Mohammed.
A little bit closer, but at least he's got his shooting boots on. At least he's hitting it green. That's the important thing.
Just tested the goalkeeper movement of Dossari as well, potentially from range, setting up for maybe a finesse shot first time, but
لا هو مساعد مش متوتر شوية.
Stepping in
باين عليه.
to make that standing tackle. We do have another goal to bring you as well, and Norway versus Brazil is providing plenty of entertainment so far this morning.
حبيبي تسلم والله.
2-2 now in that game.
Argentina will be watching that, hoping that Brazil drop points as well, so that Argentina can go through first to get a better matchup in their quarterfinals. Of course, first place will play second place. That's how it works in most traditional football, and it's going to work the same in the eNations Cup as well.
You can see lots of players behind the ball here for Dossari.
عشت الأسامي اسمك مكتوب أصلا.
And that was what I was talking about, that previous long shot down. Sometimes you're just setting up your opponent.
Yep, just getting them used to their goalkeeper movement, maybe get into a little bit of repetition, and then bang, fire one the other way and catch them off guard. But you tell you what, it's all Makes in this second half at the moment. Dossari needs to be careful.
There's space here in the middle as well for Ruud Gullit. Another first-time shot from Finland. They get the ball here, wins the header. Gullit round the corner now to R9. We know how deadly he's been in front of goal for most players so far, and that's a quick fire shot.
خالد مسك قلبي. خالد متوتر أكتر من مساعد والله.
Relying his goalkeeper again here.
Yeah, with the Royal behind Dossari, holding his breath every time that ball is in the final third for Finland, knowing how detrimental dropping points in this first game could be. Yes, okay, they could still get those 6 points in the next 2 games, but it would mean they would have to get 2 victories elsewhere. They couldn't rely on draws anywhere else. Speaking of anywhere else, Germany versus Sweden. Germany with a 3-0
يعني ألمانيا بتكسب وهي أصلا كده برا البطولة.
Trying to improve their goal difference a little bit, but it's been a somewhat disappointing event for Sweden. They would have expected more, I'm sure.
Well, Finland in behind at the moment. Ronaldo scoops the ball up, gets the ball into the box as well, and Ferdinand has to win that header. Of course, with such a long day of action as well, we want to hear from you guys. Let us know who you think is going to be winning the whole thing. Is he going to be Brazil as we see them now go into the lead against Norway? How you can do that, of course, use the hashtag FIFA eNations Cup. Let us know who you're supporting, who you want to win. As we see disappointment now on the faces of Norway.
It's because Norway and Sweden are fighting for that 4th place in that group, Mark, for those extra 125 Global Series ranking points. And for some of these players, that could be make or break to getting to playoffs and having that chance at the E-World Cup later on this year. As we've got a pause now, and Finland are going to make some changes to try and press on and grab a point here against Saudi Arabia. Because similar for Finland, they're also trying to get that 4th spot in this Group A. Saudi Arabia 7 points behind before the state of play, but you never know what could happen.
And there is a little bit of time to work with here. Remember, it's just one leg of FIFA in this particular matchup on the PlayStation 4. So it's going to be gun-ho and an action-packed finish to this first game of the day. See, it looks like the 4-2-2 being employed here, Dan.
I think that's a good strategy, considering what we've seen from Finland at the moment. They've got the ball in the right areas, but they maybe haven't had enough attackers to join and be able to pass it around and get into the space that they've been looking for.
افتكرته جول
sure though Dasari is going to be, his heart will be absolutely racing because it has been the majority of Finland in this second half.
ودلوقتي بتاع فنلندا ده هيلعب هجومي.
Finland going to be pressing towards the end of the game here. Well, it steps in and makes the interception for Dasari, and that's going to be time off the clock, most importantly, for Saudi Arabia here. A little bit of a dawdle on the ball there from Rio Ferdinand, almost presented an opportunity for Finland to win the ball back. A reminder once again, France are watching these games with bated breath at the moment. They currently hold down 2nd place. And they're relying on Finland to do them a favour here if they want to go through to the knockout stages.
For Dasari, it's a case of how well can you keep this ball. 15 minutes still remaining. It's a long time to play keep ball, so you can see he is pressing and looking for this goal, but by doing so, he's giving the ball away. And every time he does so, that's another chance for Finland to potentially ruin the chances of Saudi Arabia going through to those knockout stages. Saudi Arabia, who arguably one of the favourites for the tournament, but they were drawn in the same group as France and England, who also were up there in names of potential winners.
Gareth Bale's been introduced at left back here for Finland, so you can see the attacking thoughts behind that change. But Dasari is really doing a great job of defending well here, and now he's found Cristiano Ronaldo out on this right-hand side as well.
ايوه خدت بالي ان عبالي كنت فاكر بس هي كول انا دايما باخد بالي منها اللي هي بالجيم فانت لما قلتها بالكاف انا ما فهمتهاش.
Just ricochets out of play, and it will be possession back to Finland here, so a chance here.
He still has time as well, mate. He doesn't have to rush the ball up the pitch. He can play it around a little bit, try and encourage Dasari to bring a player or two out of position. Dasari has that experience, though, so you know he's going to be holding on strong. How much experience does he have?
And speaking of strength, R9 is causing all sorts of problems on that left-hand side. Ronaldo will just knock this one down. Might be the last attack of the game here, potentially for Finland, and they give the ball away.
هو شكله مش عارف يجيب جون تاني بس كده خلاص يعني.
Sorry, I said it would be a professional performance. And he doesn't care what the scoreline is. All he wants is 3 points on the board. If it's 1-0, he's more than happy. But Finland might have one more chance here to go forward as we're into the 90th minute now.
This would be a heartbreak for Saudi fans if we saw an equaliser. There's definitely been chances.
Here's Pele, Ronaldo with a scoop turn around the corner. Finland looking to break hearts here and it goes.
يا لهوي يما والله كان ماتش سهل.
France fans
مش عايزين تهريج بقى.
Dasari got the early lead, tried to hold on for 90 minutes, but it wasn't enough.
كده بيصعب على
It
نفسه.
means they still need 2 victories in their last 2 games.
كده بيصعب على نفسه.
And that is the impact of timing a shot. Nothing but green there from Makes. And the strike from Cristiano Ronaldo was deadly. And that is the final whistle.
لازم يكسب الماتشين الجايين كمان.
So
حاجة سيئة.
things just got very, very interesting here. In Group A, Saudi Arabia needs 6 points to take second place away from France. That means we are going down to that 2v2. They need those points from the 2v2. Lots on the line here is Finland versus Saudi Arabia. We're rejoining the action here, this time on the Xbox One. And the Royal quite simply has to get the job done here.
Needs 3 points. A draw is not enough.
لو خالد ما كسبش الماتش ده يبقى كده شكرا.
To the knockout. So much pressure on the Royal. However,
كده الضغط عالي على خالد جامد.
So far this season, he has achieved fantastic heights throughout several different competitions. Dossari is not the only big name on this team.
So corner here to Saudi Arabia. Inside the first few moments of this
يا
game,
خالد.
what has the Royal got up his sleeve here as far as his
الحارس ضرب. أيوه.
looks for the head of Ronaldo. Looks for that looping header towards the back post.
فاندرسار جايب له حارس طويل.
Over the bar there, you can check on the position of these two teams as far as the tables are concerned as well. You can see how tight it is and how much Saudi Arabia need these 3 points just to be in with a shout down. It's not even a case of 3 points and they're through. They need 3 points to make this 2v2 their chance to go through to the knockouts.
Yeah, that was live standings as well, with that current 1 point that they would get if they actually drew this game on 16. So it's not like they can win one and draw one. They need to win both of them. Just as we left the game though, Sweden were able to secure a goal.
السعودية تعادلت الماتش الأولاني ولازم تكسب الماتشين اللي بعدهم. وده الماتش التاني شغال دلوقتي.
Both for their individual performances and for those global series rankings. Elsewhere, England, South Africa. England, although they've qualified and they're through as first, it's a chance for Tex to warm up a little bit before the quarterfinals.
انجلترا خلاص تأهلت وبتدوس على الخلق بقى. لا 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 يا اختي.
France would be going through, and Saudi Arabia will be crashing out of the tournament.
I'm just trying to look to see if I can
طب كده كده فنلندا بره اصلا.
Because I'm sure they are elated at the moment. However, not over yet, but definitely something to start getting excited about. All to do now for the Royal and Saudi Arabia, as Finland are looking to try and get the hopes of any Saudi fans.
What a goal that could be in the context of this tournament.
Take
a second to think about who a lot of people were saying were favourites coming into this tournament. Germany, gone. Saudi Arabia, right on the edge, as it stands as well. Speaking of as it stands, there is the table, and French fans will be rejoicing.
لا بقى مش تاني بقى.
Are looking to double their lead here.
أيوة ماشي.
has to come across here and do some defensive work for Saudi Arabia.
I mean, not only a Saudi not going to get a qualification spot, Finland could potentially finish above them if they keep going down this avenue. I don't think anyone would have picked them to finish third in this table. But it is only the first 15 minutes. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, and let's not forget
يلا يا خلود.
how well the Royal has
يلا يا
played
حبيب.
this season.
The thing is, he does need 2 goals now. We should keep that in thoughts as well. It's not just the fact that they need to get a point from this one. They need to take all 3 down. So 2 goals they need. That's a minimum in this game. And here comes the Royal, looking for the first of 2. Mbappe wins the ball back. Vieira steps in. Strongly there for Finland. And here come the party crashers again, trying to find Mbappe on that left-hand side. And the Royal comes forward for Saudi Arabia. Pull it at the bottom of this diamond in midfield now. Vieira steps forward. Offside trap here from Finland. Ball over the top. In behind Ronaldo towards the back post.
يا ابويا.
Ramos has to clear.
Can the Royal handle the pressure? Because the weight of
Saudi
Arabia is on his shoulders right now. Dossari literally on his
Uh-huh.
shoulder right
أيوة.
now, watching every move. And I thought it was in. I think the Royal thought that might have been in as well.
Corner here to Saudi Arabia then. In towards the edge of the box.
يا دي النيلة يا رب.
Denied by the crossbar.
أيوة بقى أيوة بقى.
Saudi Arabia are back in the game.
And the first step completed for the Royal.
الحظ مش ضابط مش ضابط خالص.
Now he needs to press on and start looking for a second, maybe a third even. Because he saw what happened to MS Dossari in the first game. A one-goal lead is so fragile.
هدفين كمان خالد الله يبارك
You were
له.
thinking about leaving the action. Do not go anywhere. So much relying on this particular game. Speaking of other games, though, we have a goal again from England, and Tex has been on fantastic form so far. Neymar driving that one home with his left foot.
تكس ده يعني دايس على وش بتوع جنوب افريقيا، دايس عليهم. حلو حلو السويد جاب الجونين، حلو.
I think you'll see the reaction of Megabit here. I think we don't have to say anymore.
I mean, I can't help but
كده كده ألمانيا برا.
I love how he wears his heart on his sleeve. It shows every single emotion. But at least he can have a little giggle about it as well. But England securing another 3 points potentially if Tex can carry on his fine form. And actually, England and Brazil fighting for who can get the most points in the group stages right now.
Well, here comes the Royal. Accelerated fake shot inside. Hull it now. On the edge of the box, chance.
أيوة بقى.
And the Royal is getting the job done. Saudi Arabia 2-1 up now over Finland. They need this win to send it to the 2v2.
لا ما اعتقدش راح نخسر يعني. اهو التاني اهو. اتوقع ان هم خدوا خالد امبارح وقالوا له اهدى خالد اهدى ريلاكس كده. كان متوتر جامد امبارح هو. والحاج ده دايس على وش الخلق على طول كده. الحمد لله. هادي النهارده. امبارح كان بص كان ميت. يلا لا مش ظبطتش ما ظبطتش.
I'm liking this from the Royal and Saudi Arabia pushing for that third goal, maybe learning from the mistakes of the previous game with Dossari where he was
ابن الهجمة بالراحة بس يعني ما تنامش يعني.
wasn't able to find that second goal and then punished in the final seconds of the game. Of course, he was unfortunate in certain areas and there were chances for him to secure that 2-goal cushion. And that game done and dusted now and all the focus on the Royal.
عايش يا خالد عايش. هاي بصيها الله الله يا ابني يا ابني عايزين نشوف المرتدة يا ابني. ماشي ألمانيا جاب الجون هي ارجع بقى.
England as well continuing their domination. 4 now for Tex. How many can he put past South Africa? That's
والله حصلت المجموعة. ما قلت.
Fun in games at this point. As we go back live, Finland from the
لا بقى.
And still trouble in paradise. The Royal can't hold on to his lead. And France will be watching on.
كلها أهداف في آخر دقيقة كده.
Finland can carry on.
ماشي فاضل شوط فاضل شوط يا جماعة فاضل شوط. اضحك اضحك. طبعا الفرنسيين كلهم قاعدين مستنيين ان السعودية تخسر عشان يتأهلوا هم. لو ما استغلتش اللي هي الدقيقة الأخرانية ديت حد هيستغلها عليك والله. لا اقفل عليه. أيوه أيوه ابعت بقى، ابعت قدام. كده فاضل شوط. هي كده كده فنلندا مش هتأهل. ممكن. تقريبا مساعد قاعد يشرح له الموقف ورا.
Now for everyone at home who's a fan of France, and of course for the French contingent in the crowd as well, they want Finland to get a result here. I'm sure you'll hear their voices loud in the crowd.
أنا نفسي أفهم أنت بتضحك ليه؟ أنت لو كسبت حتى ما أنتش متأهل.
Echoing across the arena here. But that man on your screen knows the job he has to do. You have to remind ourselves, Dan, he was 1-0 down in this game. He managed to eke out a 2-1 lead. Well, that goal just at the end of the first half there from Cristiano Ronaldo. Just put the Royal in a situation.
بس خد بالك من حاجة، لو أنا متفق مع فريق تاني إن أنا أخسر عشان هو يتأهل، أنا هيتعمل لي مشاكل.
Again, 2 goals now. Sorry, 1 goal. I can't do maths.
And we know how much FIFA means to some of the Saudi Arabian fans and how they get behind Dossari and the Royal at every single tournament they play in. They'll be watching, they'll be hoping.
And maybe Modric is going to put him back into the lead. A save from Van der Sar, though, means it will be a corner.
Nice little passing move play, though, from the Royal. That's what he needs to do, just get round those 2 centre-backs. Try and get shots away on goal. Try and put Finland under pressure. He needs to be the one applying it.
Corner here for the Royal. Does find Ronaldo towards that.
أيوة بقى. إيه ده؟
And Ronaldo is doing so much damage from the corners at the moment. Saudi Arabia back in front.
And a roller
أبوس إيدك هدفين كمان.
for Team France as they watch on as Saudi Arabia again edge even closer to catching them.
والله كانت طالعة.
However, they still would need a result in that 2v2. But the first step is securing a win in this 1v1 game for the Royal. He just needs that 2-goal cushion mark. He cannot afford to only be 1 goal ahead. Because Finland have looked deadly going forward.
لا يقفل عليه ولا.
So then as it stands, Saudi Arabia will have a chance of going through, but here
لا بقى.
Finland
لا.
again. Big chance here.
يختم.
3 goals now for Finland. And the Royal can't believe it.
احنا ما لحقناش نفرح بالجول.
He's doing a job here for France as well as his homeland.
And I heard the roar from the crowd. I saw the French reaction. They loved seeing that.
كأن الفرنسيين نفسهم هم اللي بيلعبوا والله. بص.
And even a little Mbappe celebration from Maestro as well. There's hope and there's belief. Every time the Royal thinks that maybe he gets into the clear, maybe now he can start to press on. Finland spoil the dream yet again.
They have been so deadly in front of goal. Guy has only had a few chances in this game, but he's put them away.
خلاص عرفنا الفرنسيين فرحانين، خلاص اقلب بقى.
And now the Royal. Can he summon the powers of Saudi Arabia here to find another goal, because he's going to need every single piece of energy to carve out another opportunity. Here he comes, Modric on the edge of the box. Mbappe with the drift turn. Boy will ricochet back to Eusebio. Mbappe inside now to Ronaldo.
أيوة بقى. إيه ده؟
This game has everything.
And Maestro and the rest of the French guys can merely watch on, hopeless. They cannot increase their points total. They cannot increase their goal difference. They've done all they can. And it's the Royal who still is not letting the pressure get to him. Time and time again, he's been asked.
لا بس هو المفروض خالد احسن من اللعيبه الفنلنديين دول اصلا يعني. انا مش هقول لك احسن واحد في البطوله، بس هو المفروض احسن من الفنلنديين دول.
Reminder, even if Saudi Arabia win this game, they still have to win the 2v2 as well. France still clinging on to second place. England are done and dusted. They're through. Top of the group.
لا يقفل عليه بقى ما يجيبش جون من السنترة. بص ايدك بقى.
Right, another chapter in this story. Big tackle.
لا هو لابس 3 بس.
From the Royal wins the ball back here. Half an hour to go. Is there a sting in the tail here for Saudi Arabia, or will the Royal have done his job?
It's whether the Royal starts to let the occasion get to him a little bit now and plays defensive, turtles up, gives the ball away a couple of times. He's got to be very careful. I feel like if he doesn't find a 2-goal lead, there's always going to be that opportunity for Finland.
Ronaldo turns onto his right foot, tries to burst past.
لا بقى فاول ما خد فاول صح؟ فاول؟ فاول.
And a very dangerous position. The left foot of Gareth Bale is stood over it as well, and Bale goes direct. What a moment! Gareth Bale goes direct from the free kick and finds.
يا خالد بقى خالد بقى الله. هو مال الواد ده مش قاعد على بعضه كده ليه؟ ما داكس قاعد زي الفل اهو ما بيتحركش اصلا. ماله الواد ده مش على بعض؟ ما تقول له حاجه مساعد الله. الواد اللي قدامه بيلعب 3-5-2.
4-4 between Finland and Saudi Arabia. We have other goals to bring you as well.
بيل جاب الجون ومشي. طيب وكده هيدافع. هيدافع ازاي وهو خد 3 ورا؟ بس هيمسك نص الملعب.
It's been so many restarts, so many kickoffs, and it's so dangerous from these positions as well.
Yeah.
But the ball sails out of play, and the time in the top left-hand corner starts to fade away from Saudi Arabia. The Royal has had to do so much.
يا عم يجيب جون بس عشان نعرفوا نلعبوا الزوجي.
We're down against Sweden, but they
ماتش ألمانيا الخسران ده.
And they really do want to go out of this tournament with a bang. Denting the hopes of Sweden trying to get that 4th spot in Group C.
Back to the big game then. Finland versus Saudi Arabia. And here come Finland again.
لا بقى.
Might just end Saudi Arabian hopes, and Ferdinand has to put it out for a corner. You're going to see changes coming in here.
تعمل ايه خالد؟
4-4 is not good enough.
بره من امبارح هي.
Not good enough here. For Saudi Arabia, they need the 3 points to stay in.
يعني السويد بتلعب قدامها عشان التأهل برضه زي السعودية كده.
Playing for global series ranking points, but I mean this is the inaugural eNations. You'd like to think there'll be another eNations next year, and potentially the year after and after that. You're fighting for your spot in the team as well. Some of these players picked by their nation as the top players around. If you can go out with a bang, you can show what you're made of. If you can get results against Saudi Arabia, why wouldn't you be in the back next time?
مساعد بيديله التعليمات اهو. المفروض بقى التشكيلة ديت تجيب الجوان.
Listening to the wise words of MSDOSSARY. And his coaches, of course, there as well, watching on.
One thing we have to remember as well is the fact that it comes down to the Royal, because DOSSARY couldn't get the job done as well. A last-minute equaliser on the PlayStation 4 meant that first game was 1-1. Put the Royal into this situation.
تمام كده.
17 minutes plus stoppage time for Finland to upset the party here and to send the French contingent into rapture, as they will go through. However, the Royal, he wants to keep his country's dreams alive here, and he's going to be streaming forward with every opportunity now.
يلا خلود انت كده مش خسران حاجه، تجيب الجون وخلص. تعادل مش هيعمل لك حاجه.
But the Royal gets the ball back, still coming forward now. Eusebio in and around the box. Pele, ball falls back to Eusebio.
يا اوزيبيو. فين اوزيبيو يا ملك؟
hold on and still have the potential to send France through to the knockouts. France watch on. It was a horrible position to be in. course, several teams played all of their games yesterday and had to merely wait for results elsewhere. Mexico in a similar position later on, but France, they may have done it.
Look at the players just flowing forward here for Saudi Arabia. The Royals just throwing everything at Finland right now. Snip-guy has to hold on for French hopes for the Global Series ranking points.
لا بقى هيضيع وقته يعمل مرتدة يا اختي
Finland are 5-4 up in what is probably the biggest game of the tournament so far.
England, France, Saudi Arabia, all favourites, but Saudi on their way out. And France on their way through as Dax looks to the heavens. Because all they could do was pray.
فعلا ما ضيعش وقت.
And it looks like their prayers have been answered.
كده خالد عايز هدفين. خلاص.
Dax looks to the heaven.
كانش ليها لازمة تطلعت الحارس دي والله.
I'm sure that he could be heard from everywhere at the moment. However, with how crazy this game has been, there is still time.
بس برضه الغلط على مساعد عشان تعادل الماتش اللي فات. كان ماتش سهل وكان ممكن يكسبه.
In what has been an incredible tale so far.
Heartbreak for Saudi Arabia fans. 6 minutes left. Tournament life on the line. What has the Royal got left in the tank? Needs a goal, this attack really to have any chance of rescuing 3 points here.
That tackle is absolutely massive there for Finland. They've got possession back and that means time off the clock here.
أيوة.
Here's how it stands. Saudi Arabia quite simply will not have enough opportunity to get the points on the board as Ramos steps in. Eusebio into Ronaldo, the shot just goes wide. And with that shot just drifting wide, you have to feel the hopes of Saudi Arabia might have just gone with it.
And not only have Finland upset Saudi Arabia, not only have they sent France into celebration, but now Finland can start to look at that third spot. Okay, it doesn't get you a qualification place, but there's a hell of a lot of a pride for that third place, considering how tough this group was for Finland.
Here comes Snip-guy, looking to make it 6 maybe. Into stoppage time now. And the job has been done by Finland here. The Royal couldn't get it done, Dossari couldn't get it done. And even with the goal here, there might be time. But he'd have to win the ball back almost immediately.
I don't think there is time.
مفيش وقت خلاص كده مفيش وقت.
A little bit too late, I'm afraid. As Saudi Arabia, unless there's a miracle with a referee waves play on, they will be eliminated from the competition. Disappointing for Finland to throw away that lead though. They wanted that 3 points. They wanted to push on for third.
صعبة خالد.
They still do have the 2v2 game, but wow. The
Royal
has had such a tough game here. Snip-guy made it so difficult.
Goal for the visitors, number 7.
Just waiting for the referee's whistle, and it goes, and Saudi Arabia, another one of the favourites coming into the tournament, crash out in the group stages. France go through to join England in the knockout rounds from Group A. And what a roller coaster that was, Dan.
That means we have our 4 qualifiers from Group A and Group C. France, England, Argentina and Brazil. 4 teams that in real football are always up there as some of the best, but it looks like in FIFA as well, the nations have been represented fantastically by the players, but it's going to be a long old trip home for the Saudi Arabian players. They still have a lot to play for individually with the rest of the season. Both the Royal and Dossari will be at playoffs, likely will be at the E-World Cup as well.
Unbelievable stuff. You can see the reaction of the Royal there on your screen. Crazy stuff coming in.
هو خالد دخل فيه جوان الصراحة ما كان يعني ملهاش لازمة بس.
Speaking of reactions, let's see what Adam and Spencer have to say after what has been a crazy game there.
Wow, Spencer, What have we just seen? Is that the game of the tournament?
مش هتغطي احتياجاتهم.
Over to Finland versus Saudi Arabia.
انا اقول لك وي تقدر تغطي احتياجاتهم، بس هل هتديهم الخدمه اللي هم عايزينها ولا لا؟ ما اعرفش.
Did a job on Dossari and the Royal in the first two 1v1s.
And just look how different it could have been if Dossari had held on in that first game and not conceded that last-minute goal. Saudi Arabia could have been going through. France would have been knocked out from the competition, but
السعوديه كسبت الماتش الزوجي اهو.
Such character, such spirit in this final round. And I'm sure that France and Finland will be having a chat afterwards, and France will be thanking them dearly.
Pele then for Saudi Arabia, twisting and turning.
بيتقطع عليهم والله.
Reluctant to shoot, and that just allows Finland to get back in. I think they know the result is done. And there it is, the final game has concluded here with Saudi Arabia picking up a 1-0 win in the 2v2 format.
بس خلاص كده السعوديه معاها 19 نقطه.
On your screen right now. I think they're going to be put on posters and flags all over France today.
So everything was wrapped up before the 2v2s, but let's have a look at the results then after the 2v2 games.
Thank you very much
England carried on dominating against South Africa. South Africa unable to get a goal in all three games. As Finland, they did the dirty over Saudi Arabia. They played for France. And they allowed France to go through after their
تعادلين يعني حاجه رخمه جدا. تعادلين دول.
Finland over Saudi Arabia.